Japan, Korea, Qatar, United States of America. The winner to organize the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.
From a sudden sideline collapse to under-the-table dealings deciding game venues, these are the weirdest football conspiracies you never heard of. Number 1. Ronaldo 1998 World Cup. Going into the 1998 World Cup in France, Ronaldo Nazario was easily the best player in the world. He was lethal in front of goal and a sight to behold on a football pitch. He proved all of that in that tournament when he inspired Brazil all the way to the final to face hosts France. With Ronaldo on the pitch, Brazil were always going to be favorites in that final, but just a few hours before kickoff, Ronaldo suffered a convulsive fit. Therefore, to the surprise of the entire world, he was not in Brazil's starting lineup. However, not long before kickoff, his name was re-included on the team sheet. It would turn out not to be the best decision as Ronaldo pretty much sleepwalked through that final, which Brazil ended up losing. After that game, loads of conspiracy theories sprang up from everywhere. Some were asking the question, was Ronaldo drugged before that game? While others were focused on why he still played despite that big health scare only hours before the game. There was a theory that Nike, who were sponsoring Ronaldo and the Brazil national team at the time, Ronaldo forced to play for commercial reasons. What the truth is about that whole episode till this day, no one can say for sure. Number 2. All about the money. There's no denying that football is an extremely glamorous sport. And the revenue that events like the FIFA World Cup generate is out of this world. But where do you draw the line between making money and playing for money? December 2nd, 2010 was a historic and controversial day for football fans from all over. It was the day when the FIFA president of the time announced he would host the 2018 and 2022 World Cup finals, and the epic moment in Zurich when Sepp Blatter pulled out a card and read the name Qatar. Everyone lost their minds. It seemed interesting that Qatar was being honored to host such a prestigious event, but what was the real reason behind Qatar being chosen? The media presented a convincing theory about how Qatar was able to financially manipulate FIFA's committee decisions because of the powerful position it holds in terms of money and oil possession. Russia was also able to announce the location of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, but that definitely makes more sense considering everything that happened at the club level. Number 3. Lasagna Gate. In the 2005 to 2006 season, Tottenham was on track to become the first team to ever qualify for the Champions League and to surpass their nearby rivals, Arsenal, for the first time in more than a decade. They simply had to duplicate what the Gunners did in the season's final weeks. It should have been possible to win a game against the West Ham team that had nothing left to play for, but calamity struck the previous evening while staying in a hotel in Canary Wharf. Several important players experienced terrible stomach cramps after consuming what was later determined to be tainted lasagna. They tore out the team's core, including Michael Carrick, Robbie Keane, Edgar Davids, Michael Dawson, Aaron Lennon, and Timo Tainio. A postponement request was denied by the Premier League, and conspiracy theorists accused Arsenal of trying to ruin the match because they benefited from Spurs' loss to the Hammers. Number 4. Barcelona and their army links. One Syrian TV channel is legitimate proof of how wild imaginations can run, and anything is possible if you're willing to cook up a theory and sell it to the viewers. A narrator on the channel claimed that Barcelona's formation actually depicts arms smuggling routes to Syrian rebels, and the only reason they ever win any of their matches is because Syria is funding their team. In this wildly far-fetched theory, the narrator believes that the players represent the smugglers and the ball's position is the current location of the weapons. The whole game is just a design of where the weapons are going. He also said that when Lionel Messi passes the ball, it shows that the weapons have successfully reached the rebels in Geraldton. Given how often that happens during a Barcelona match, the amount of weapons this team is handling is too much to imagine. Listen up, Arso fans, your biggest idol is nothing more than a criminal helping Syrian rebels, and your support makes you an accessory to the crime. Good luck explaining this to the FBI. Number 5. Steven Gerrard's secret plan. Club captain, star player, boyhood fan, Steven Gerrard would do anything to win for Liverpool. But on one occasion, maybe he actually wanted the Reds to lose. It's hard to imagine. During his 17 seasons as a first-teamer at Anfield, Gerrard gave his blood, sweat and tears for the cause. He could have left Liverpool on several occasions, but Gerrard never abandoned the club he loved. So, why do some conspiracy theorists believe the midfielder once missed a penalty on purpose? Well, it's exactly because he wanted the best for the club. In 2011, Liverpool were going through a terrible period under Roy Hodgson. The former Fulham boss was unpopular with the supporters, and at one point, the Reds were even in the relegation zone. In a 3-1 loss to Blackburn, Gerrard missed a penalty. It wasn't even close. The ball went sailing over the bar. Steve G looked disappointed, but it was all an act because he wanted Hodgson gone? Well, if it was, it worked. Roy was sacked within days. Number 6. Argentina's holy water scandal. During the 90s, one of the most colorful chapters was a rivalry between Argentina and Brazil. When the two footballing superpowers faced each other in the World Cup round of 16, Argentina were the holders of the trophy and were spearheaded by Golden Boy Maradona. While Brazil had won the World Cup 3 times at this point, Argentina squeezed through to the quarters with a 1-0 victory, but it was after the game that it really kicked off. Branco, the Brazilian defender who had been tasked with keeping tabs on Maradona, accused the Argentine team of drugging him during the game. He took a drink offered to him by an Argentine physio and claimed that he started to feel faint and slow afterward. He reasoned that he had not been disoriented by El Diego's mesmerizing footwork, but by Argentinian narcotics, with the aim of keeping him away from their superstar. 15 years later, FIFA began an investigation. Naturally, the tournament's controversy became Maradona, who piped up, saying the bottle had been dosed with tranquilizers. But without any proof, the holy water scandal remains a mystery. Number 7. Neymar's disappearing act. In 2014, when injury ruled Neymar out of the World Cup semis, the Brazilian looked devastated. But some eagle-eyed fans claimed there was more to the story than met the eye. Let's rewind to that tournament. Brazil were under huge pressure to win on home soil. Neymar was only 22, but he was already the national team's star man. The Barcelona forward would help Brazil reach the quarters, where they came up against an impressive Colombia side. Brazil won a tight, tense game 2-1, but it wasn't a completely positive night for the hosts. That's because in a very physical match, Neymar suffered a minor fracture of a vertebra in his back after being kneed by Juan Zuniga. The doctors immediately told him he wouldn't be fit for the semis against Germany. That's the official story anyway. Some fans don't believe it. They think Neymar faked his injury because he didn't want to be part of a possible humiliation by the Germans. Conspiracy theorists studied pictures of Neymar being taken to the hospital and claimed that some of his tattoos were missing. They argued Brazil had employed a body double and that Neymar was absolutely fine. Whatever the truth, Brazil lived through their worst nightmare in a 7-1 thrashing by Germany a few days later. Number 8. Match fixing. Can this really happen in such a big game? When 2002 rolled around, everyone was extremely excited to witness the FIFA World Cup once again and see who would take the trophy home. South Korea happened to be one of the teams who really seemed like they were ready to win, and their efforts on the pitch showed that they had worked super hard and had their eyes on the prize. When South Korea beat Italy and Spain, many fans were shocked. How was Korea able to beat such strong teams? Such a stunning win was bound to get the public talking. Italian officials were quick to point out how they were treated unfairly in the game when Francesco Totti was expelled from the game on unfair grounds. And that all of it was a ploy to make South Korea win. Portugal and Spain also supported these statements, saying that they had faced similar treatments in the group stages and semifinals. No one will be able to confirm whether South Korea's team was involved in the match fixing, but on the off chance that they were, they definitely didn't do a very good job. South Korea was actually eliminated in the semifinals, beaten by Germany in a close game. Then again, it's really hard to dominate the Germans.